Okay, so my name's Stuart, and I set up counselling in the community nearly 5 years ago. Back then there was 2 of us, and we saw between 8 to 12 people a week. We come fast forward to now, and there are 60 volunteers working from there. We see on average between 100 and 120 people a week. We have a system that creates a virtual waiting room for us, and currently there are 61 people waiting to be seen. Our waiting list has gone up from days to probably 3 to 4 weeks now, but we're working very hard to get that back down to within 2 weeks, because we've always prided ourselves on the fact that people come and see us and it's quite immediate. People are seen within days. Our typical referral would be through our website, social media, phone, or just a knock on the door. We still get people walking up to refer themselves in. We would then do an initial assessment with these people, and from that we would ask certain questions, but predominantly we're looking to put them into a service level. So we've based our service levels on the Counselling, Psychotherapy, the awarding body, CPCAB, and they use ABC. So we just use 1, 2, 3, so 1 mild, 3 is complex. The reason we do that is we want to put them with a counsellor that wouldn't be working out of their limits. And we're quite strict on that because it would damage 2 people potentially. You can't always get all of that information in an assessment because things come out 3 or 4 sessions down, and then we have to review it and maybe put them with somebody else. Our counsellors are made up of qualified and placement counsellors. As a trainee counsellor, the British Association of Counsellors and Psychotherapists will insist that you do 100 hours of counselling practice. We've been very fortunate. We've kept on quite a lot of the counsellors that have done their placement with us, so they're now qualified and they can work with the level 3s, so the more complex. There are some people that we probably can't work with, that are just too complex for us, and probably need to engage with a medical model diagnosis and medication. But what we will do is we'll sit with these people and hold their hand until they do get that appointment with a psychiatrist or a psychologist, because it's bloody lonely out there actually. After lockdown, our service increased by 40%. We have 4 counselling rooms at our Derby Road office, and we just maxed out on rooms. We couldn't fit any more people in. And so we took on a new building down at Waterloo Road, which is going to give us another 3, possibly 5 counselling rooms or consulting rooms of sorts. But we'll talk about that because we're doing this in collaboration with Dave and his team at the Blackpool Centre for the Unemployed, because we're finding that I think it was a previous president of the World Health Organization said, where there's neglect, there's mental health, and where there's mental health, there's neglect. And our 2 services just have kind of linked together really well. Dave and his team work really hard with welfare rights. I'm not going to do Dave's speech for him because he'll do it better than I can. But we have a lot of people that can't afford to eat, can't afford to do this, can't look after themselves. And it's not just about getting them in the right headspace. There's other things that go into that, as you well know. Looking after yourself is more than just about talking about problems. There's a lot more that needs to be done. So Dave and I have come together on that, and it seems to be working really, really well. But we'll talk about that more. Because we've got so busy, sustaining volunteers is really, really hard. It's something that if you put it into a business plan, it'd probably get given back to you if you went to the bank with it. So we've had to introduce a registration fee for people coming in which goes against a lot of what we started for. We wanted to make counselling accessible to all. However, £1,200 a month for a building, I can't go to my landlords and say, well, I haven't made it this month. We've been in that position before, and this isn't a sob story, but we've had eviction notices. We've been looking at closing within 48 hours because we couldn't pay the rent. But we've always had the belief that there's always a way. We've had to introduce a charge, and it's £10 if you're working, it's £5 if you're on benefits, or ultimately we'd never turn anybody away. It goes deeper than just asking somebody for money, actually. We want people to contribute to themselves, and contribution goes out to the universe. We have to contribute in life. And sometimes getting people to understand that there's a commitment, they've got to make a commitment, it's quite powerful. And if you look at the people that don't contribute at all, and look at the people that do, the ones that do, their attrition rate, they drop out at about 25%, whereas the ones that don't are about 75%. And we hear things like, can't make it today because it's clashing with my boxer size and things like that. Because they're paying for that, so that it's more important to them, effectively, whereas their mental health is really important. Like I say, we've never turned anybody away because they've not paid or can't pay. We're there to help. And we have sent out some emails to some third-party organisations saying that, we're having to, because we're struggling with our waiting lists, could you refer back to your own counselling pathways just while we get ourselves in order, and we're hoping that will be rectified within the next couple of months, and then we can get our waiting list back down to 1 to 2 weeks. But it's just taking a bit of time. Now we've got the extra rooms, it's taking the pressure off quite a lot. That's me. Has anybody got any questions? Hello.
What geographic footprint do you prefer?
From FY1 to FY8 predominantly, but we do have people from Burnley, Salford, Hertfordshire. If you think about it, the stigma is still very real with mental health, and to want to come from Hertfordshire, I suppose if you look at that area, it's a big I obviously don't want to break confidentiality or anything, but there's a lot of barracks down there and things like that, and that's the concern that people have, that they don't want to tell people that they've got mental health. So people can visit family and drop in at the same time. So FY1's our biggest catchment, and then it is, funnily enough, it's FY2, then FY3 and FY4. FY7 actually was a big catchment for us pre-COVID, but that's dropped down a little bit.
You said you were on social media. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Yes, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We get a lot of messages through there. We have a website, www.counsellingthecommunity.com.
What's the Facebook page?
Counselling the Community. Yeah, we're over most of them. I think we're even on TikTok, but I don't generally do any dancing or anything. Is that me?
Super, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.